Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at waves, see what's going on, of course, and see if it's still making waves. And in short, yes, it absolutely is. It's definitely doing very well. We're going to see if it's overextended or just, how much further this could continue, because these type of things happen and we got to be ready for it. So that being said, not a financial advisor, love teaching people how to trade. I really hope you can learn something here today. CryptoCache.tech is a website, link in the description below if you want to become a better trader. I have a trading academy, community, and signal group to help you essentially be a well-rounded trader so you know how to survive the market, what the fundamentals are going into it. Then you can take this TA that I give you and understand it better. So that's essentially the idea, the concept. I love teaching people how to become better just in general, and why not use cryptocurrency, which is like a really easy way to be able to be financially free. I have a lot of that myself personally. This is my full-time job, and I can tell you it's realistic. All right, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look here at waves. Big picture, first of all, it's destroyed any previous resistance, right? So obviously we covered this yesterday, but it broke through $35, didn't look back, and today tested and broke through $51.82. However, it's retracing back now to a potential key level Fibonacci retracement line. And just to touch on this too as well, this line here, right around 1.272, roughly $42 was a previous all-time high. Just give you perspective on big picture and the fact that it's done very well for itself, all things considered. So let's take a look at the moving averages here, and this is an interesting phenomenon that does occur, but we have this increased price action synonymous with a convergence, for lack of better terms, very similar to a MACD convergence, where we have the golden cross, the 50 intersecting with the 200. When these two things converge, so to speak, you can typically see an explosion of price. Some would argue the fact that they cross because the price is increasing, but it's an interesting thing nonetheless. Oftentimes when you see that, it's a precursor to a price increase. Not necessarily an explosion like we saw here, but definitely an increase. That being said, all good stuff here in that sense. We got a MACD convergence, we got the RSI well over 70. I do not love this personally. This is way too overextended. I like to see 70 on the RSI work as a support, as it has so far for quite some time. In fact, ever since March 1st, the RSI's price has been over 70 on the RSI, and it hasn't looked back. So that's phenomenal. That's excellent. But just know when we're trending closer to 80, that's a significant increase. That's a significant amount of being oversold, or overbought, and the likelihood of it becoming sold and selling, basically coming back down, is higher. So just bear that in mind. While it's very true this continuation could continue, we just got to be realistic in the fact that it shouldn't, just generally speaking. Now, what we want to double check is the volume, and you see the large amount of volume, that contradicts all of that. With this increased amount of volume, as long as we can sustain this amount of volume, the price will probably be able to stay that high. That's the thing we got to understand. Volume speaks very loud, and we don't typically listen. And I can tell you that this increased amount of volume, albeit we have a little bit of selling pressure here, we should expect the price to probably consolidate between 46 and 52. That's a good rough estimate there in that sense. Once again, based on volume, if we start to see the volume taper and start to decrease and there's no more buying pressure, obviously the price will come back down. Right? But we're well above both moving averages. The 50-day SMA essentially worked as a support level and has been for some time. You can see this type of trend line that's occurring here, where the price just keeps going higher, right? A lot of times you can see trend lines that occur synonymous with the 50-day SMA on the 4-hour. That being said, we could also argue the fact that this is a current trend line that has potentially just been broken. Okay. So once more, the likelihood of it continuing higher from here is still there. It's just less likely based on the overextension that we have. We can also look at TD sequential here and see we just hit a 9 previously. So I think the likelihood of it going sideways is greater than it going straight up from here. Because again, it flew too close to the sun, is a term I like to use, and essentially came up too fast. And if we look at the smaller time frame here, just for example, you can probably see the volume weighted average price, where the price came well above those standard deviation lines and had to contract and come back down. So it's not abnormal by any means to see that kind of occurrence in a coin like this based on how overextended it got. So this pullback is necessary. For it to be able to sustain its price, it needs to pull back even further down to probably closer to 46. So I'd say a good dollar cost average target would be $46. And then of course, a secondary target would be 42 based on the simple fact that that was a previous all-time high. Therefore, a new support level. So we can anticipate 42.50 as a very close approximate. Let's just set round number 42.50 as a good dollar cost average target / support level. And then a secondary support there, more immediate rather, is $46. So I would say worst case, we're going to see a channel between 42 and 52 as a rough estimate there, but probably trending closer to 46/42.50. Okay. Again, this is strictly based on everything we've seen so far. Obviously, the amount of volume that we see, if that can continue, and we see the same amount of volume moving forward. In other words, these candlesticks don't get much lower. We can probably be in pretty good shape to see the price action hold and sustain. So I would just say be a little patient here. Try not to FOMO in. It's probably not going to go much higher from here, at least not for a little while. It needs to build a little bit more volume at a specific price point, because it's if you can see the volume profile, there's very low volume at this current price point, and we need to be able to build on that. So again, volume is important. Try to acknowledge that. All right, taking a look at the last thing here on the 1 hour, we can see TD sequential is going to tell us we hit extreme overtime here. We hit a 9, and it didn't get a chance to reset. Slight amount of consolidation for about 5 or 6 hours, and back up to a 5. Now we're down to a 6. So the likelihood of us coming down to a 9 is probably pretty high. I think we're probably going to hit a 9 and hit 46 roughly the same time. Again, depending on how Bitcoin's performing, if Bitcoin starts to retrace, which we're expecting 46,000 in the relative near future, then I think we're going to see a 9 from Waves here soon. That 9 could put us closer to 46. So again, not trying to be a bummer here, just realistically, everything we see here so far, it's overextended. Yes, we have a tremendous amount of volume, but if that volume starts to dissipate, then we're going to start seeing a decrease in price. And you can kind of see the volume tapering off a little bit so far, and that is concerning, so to speak. So I would just be mindful and be ready for the price to pull back. If you, let's see here, I should take a look at the cloud too. It technically isn't giving us a sell signal yet, but just know that if the price doesn't shoot up anytime soon, then we're going to effectively have this lagging span intersect the price action. And once it does that, that's considered to be a cause for not necessarily selling your position, but at the very least trimming perhaps a little bit, and or expecting the price to go the other direction, right? So again, once we have that, then the conversion line will effectively intersect with the baseline, and then the price action, just say hypothetically, comes over here. We have the cloud to rely on. It could very well work as a support and push the price back up. That's what should happen, actually. That's why $46, I think, is going to be a pretty awesome price point if we can consolidate there and then leg up again, right? All right, so anyways, all good stuff here for Waves. The sky is definitely not going to fall, but I think we should expect a correction, and if it doesn't happen, just know it keeps going up like it's doing so far, it'll correct itself even larger later. Okay, so just be aware of that. What goes up must come down. So try not to get super greedy. Try to work within your risk tolerance and make sure that you find some profits along the way. That's what we do as a community, and we're constantly profitable, and we're trending around 80-85% success rate. And the main reason why is just because we exercise caution, and we try not to get too frivolous, and we use the basics of trading and try not to get super advanced. Everything I've showed you here so far, moving averages, volume, they're fairly rudimentary trading techniques. And those are things that the large industry leaders are using to manipulate the price action. If you know what they're going to do, then you can better survive this market, right? And then, of course, thrive the market too, which is coming soon now that we're over 46,000 from Bitcoin. All right, anyways, all good stuff there. I hope you learned something here today. If you did, comment below. If not, that's cool too. Feel free to join my trading community, learn it from the academy, and obviously check out those signals. Link in the description below, CryptoCache.tech. I look forward to working with you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.